a user model, right? That it's going to give us some of the really low-level commands that it's going to allow us to interact with the database. So, for instance, it's going to give us functions such as the find, right, that we just saw in the console. So in the console, you can type find, right, and retrieves all the all the documents from a collection. So same thing. So user model is going to provide all those commands, right? But now we're going to be able to do it programmatically from our code. So typically we want to provide a higher level set of functions, right? That for the rest of the applications, and usually we do that in we encapsulate those high level functions in what we call data access objects. So data access objects is a very well known and very popular design pattern that states that you should encapsulate all data access into a single module, reusable module or component, and that it should provide a high-level API to the rest of the application and should hide any low-level access to the database. So let's create a DAO. So in a different directory, we're going to create DAOs. In particular, we want to create a DAO to interact with users. So let's create a JavaScript, and we'll call it users.dao.server. So in here, we're going to implement all our high-level functions. So for instance, we want to be able to create a function that allows us to create a user, that takes as argument a user object, and it hides, right, the low-level use of the mongoose. Right? Other things that we'd like to have here are things such as const find all users, right, that retrieves all the users. Other things I'd like to have here maybe is find a user by ID, that takes a user ID as an argument, right, and implements that from the database. Other things might be, find user by credentials, right, credentials, and this might take maybe their username and password, and then finds that user from the database, right? And then we would expose this as an API, maybe as a map exports, so that somebody can call this from outside. So again, this is creating a high-level API into a low-level API, such as the Mongoose API. Oops. So yeah, so this is what a DAO structure might look like, and creating all these high-level API into the rest of the for the rest of the application, right? Hiding the idiosyncrasies of either talking to Mongo or talking to MySQL or talking to anybody, right? Any database access or file system access, right? Typically, you would hide it, those idiosyncrasies, right, from a high-level API such as this.